This is Kanzenshuu, the podcast, episode 357 for the week of March 2nd, 2014. What up, hey, so welcome to Kanzenshuu,
the podcast,
an extension of the all-encompassing Dragon Ball fan site.
Kanzenshuu.
That's right. Appreciate it. We cover anything and everything Dragon Ball in hopes of enlightening and a little bit, the entertaining. What's up, everyone? My name is Mike VegettoEX. I am, as we approach this Buu arc of Kai, I dread the return of evil alternate VegettoEX with the red scouter. He may make a dreadful return at some point in the future. Joining me here on the show to come back to the topic of Battle of Z, Mr. Kieran, LordMoonstone. What's up, dude?
How's it going, man?
It is great. Been playing Battle of Z, been playing Bravely Default, been playing Final Fantasy 14.
Oh my god, Bravely Default.
It's been a full day. All right, maybe we'll talk about that stuff, kind of like post-show kind of thing. All right, I have many things to talk about, many games. Man, Battle of Z has been out for a little over a month. You and I, when the demo came out, you were kind of doing the best job of anyone, including Namco Bandai, now Bandai Namco, whatever you want to. I kind of don't care.
Whatever they are, it doesn't matter.
It does not matter. You were doing a better job than anyone else explaining what is this game? Is it a fighting game? Is it not a fighting game? How do you play it? You got videos, you got all that stuff. You did an amazing job setting it up for me because I think like many folks, I approached this game in, I don't want to say the wrong way because there's no wrong way to approach a game, but my expectations were very different from what I think the developers had in mind, and I'm not sure whose fault that is. So it's been a while since then. I've been working on my review, but I still have a little bit more to go in the game. I got stuck for a while. I kind of want to talk about that.
Boy.
We're going to reapproach it a month later with not quite a final review because that will still be coming to the website in written form, but basically as final of a podcast review as we can do. So this is one of those weird weeks where I'm glad I didn't record a podcast as soon as I wanted to because it's as soon as you go to record, news comes out. So I'm very excited. Hold it back a couple hours. Something happened. So you're going to be with me here for the full episode. We have a couple bits of news. Battle of Z review is the main meat of the episode. We have a bunch of tweets back at us about Battle of Z. So if you're ready, dude, let's get on into it.
Let's kick it.
Now, Kieran, have you been... kind of two levels of a question here. Did you read Jaco the Galactic Patrolman when it was coming out?
I read the first issue that they had, or the first chapter. I have not kept up with it at all.
Gotcha. I know Viz put out kind of like a preview thing. They put that out for free. Are you interested in it? Did it pique your interest? And you're just like, I'll wait for it. Where do you stand on that?
Absolutely. Like, I want to read it. And I kept looking around Viz's site, trying to figure out where to get it. Like, what to do to go ahead. Like, are these chapters out? Oh, it's in Shonen Jump. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. So I figured I'll just wait. There might be a printed one coming out or something.
I have to imagine. I mean, so kind of step back a little bit. Jaco the Galactic Patrolman, basically prequel to Dragon Ball. If you've been following along with the site, you kind of know all this stuff at this point. The print edition is coming out in Japan in April. Got two versions. You got regular, you got a super elite. In the meantime, what they've been doing over in Japan is Shueisha has what they call a VOMIC, this voice comic. Thank you. Appreciate it. Someone's going to mention it every time. The fourth one came out, and they promised from the start they were only going to do 4 installments. And the first 3 covered all of Chapter 1. Chapter 1 was a longer chapter. I think Chapter 1 and then the final chapter were maybe even Chapter 10 as well. I have to go back and check. They were significantly longer than the others. And then the 4th installment covered all of Chapter 2, which I don't want to say ends on a cliffhanger, but it kind of ends on a little bit of information, and then you're ready for the next, but at the same time, it kind of wraps up a little. It's Jaco. It's a short one thing. Did you check out the VOMICs at all? Or is it another thing where I'll just wait? I want to read it all at once.
I haven't. I'm just kind of waiting. I feel terrible. I have nothing to contribute for the VOMICs. The name just made me laugh.
There's nothing. There's nothing to say about it. I mean, they're out. They were super cute. I enjoyed the voices. I thought there was really good casting in there. So all in all, it was a thing. I enjoyed it.
It was a thing. I mean, it sounds like they weren't even, it's not even a motion comic, right? Like they don't move things? They just like fade in text?
Correct.
Things like that?
Yeah. Like panels may pop up on top of each other, and sometimes dialogue bubbles will pop up. So they clearly did some cutout jobs, or maybe if Toriyama had some backgrounds before the dialogue bubbles, be a little bit like that. So it's the kind of stuff that you could do yourself, just done really professionally, and it was fully colored for the VOMIC. So I'm kind of curious if the print edition is going to be fully colored when that comes out, or if they do, I have to imagine they'll do a collected digital release, if that will be fully colored, because they've since gone back. If you buy the Nekomajin collected digital edition in Japan, that's been fully colored kind of retroactively. So really curious to see what they'll do with Jaco. You can check those all out, all 4 parts. They're up, they're free. It's a Windows Media kind of thing. It doesn't work by default in Chrome, but does work by default in Internet Explorer because of all the Microsoft stuff. And if you're on OS 10, then you got like plugins. It's a whole thing. I don't know why they do it that way.
VOMIC.
So, all right, then let's hit up what is kind of the biggest news of the week. It just dropped today. I first got this link and I'm like, wait, Japan has a Good Morning America TV show? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, wait. That's the name of the band. That doesn't make any more sense, but it at least...
God. That is such a good name.
It is pretty good. So where we're at is we know that the Boo Arc of Kai is coming in April.
Best kept secret.
Yes. No one knew this was coming. Starting up April 6th. I believe it is. So that's starting up. Obviously, there's going to be music in it. And I think Heath and I were even talking last week. This is the part of the cycle where they're going to have to announce the composer at some point because it's clearly going to be a new composer. They're going to announce theme song stuff. Will they keep Dragon Soul as the opening? We still don't know that yet. What do you think? I kind of think they probably will.
I'm thinking that they're going to change it.
The opening?
To keep, I think they're going to change it to keep in line with Cha-La and We Got a Power.
Do you think the opening will stay not Dragon Soul the song, but Dragon Soul the band, Takeyoshi Tanimoto, or will it be something else?
I don't know. I'm predicting it's going to be the same group, but I do not think it's going to be the song Dragon Soul for the opening.
Well, this news is, hey, there's a new ending theme. And by the way, there's going to be multiple ending themes for the Boo Arc. The name of the band here is Good Morning America. It's a Japanese band. The name of the song is Dear Zarathustra. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. I guess this ties back to a Nietzsche writing.
Yes.
All sorts of
Übermensch.
Good old philosophy stuff. So it's like, all right, this is the news. Okay, but there's going to be multiple ones. Yeah, they said this is going to be for the first quarter of the Boo Arc. It's like quarter implies 4. So I don't know if that's precise. We don't really know. The Boo Arc originally was just under 100 episodes. That's clearly going to be cut down a bit. That many theme songs per a cut down arc seems really fast to me, and kind of harkens back to what One Piece and Naruto do these days, where I feel like every dozen episodes you get kind of a new ending theme. That's not Dragon Ball to me. So before we go anywhere else, what are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts? I mean, a new ending theme. Kind of expected that.
I'm really curious how much they're going to cut for the Boo Arc, because what did from Raditz to Cell, how many episodes was that?
That was 200 episodes. Well, 199. And then you figure there was Garlic Jr. in there, and there's the Afterlife tournament in there, so you kind of cut that stuff out. I mean, just as a basic comparison numbers, I know off the top of my head. In Z, the Scion Arc was 35 episodes. In Kai, it was 16 episodes.
Okay, so we're looking at roughly 50%, something like that, right? Boo Arc is ludicrous in comparison to the rest of the show.
Right.
So I could see them pulling off, like, it's obviously going to be like these new shonen shows where they're going to be doing it, but I'm really curious how many episodes it's going to be, what the pace is going to be for this, because that seems, if they're talking quarters already, I'm wondering, like, what divisive points in the story. I'm already, like, thinking, like, all right, when's there going to be the new, like, Boo comes out, new ending, you know, like Boo's introduced. Like, I'm thinking, like, what their big divisions are going to be for the series, and I'm curious how, like, they're already marketing this. They're pushing this pretty hard already, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the Boo Arc, even if I don't personally like it as much as the rest of the show.
That's how I feel. It's just Kai in general. I'm always curious to see how they're doing it. So not only did they announce the song, but at the exact same moment, we got 3 versions of the CD single coming out. So the show starts April April 6th. The CD single is out exactly a month later on May 6th. We're getting 2 different versions of a limited edition. There's a bonus DVD with one of them, and then a bonus track of a live radio show performance on the other one, and then just the standard edition. I'm like, all right, I never heard of this band. I want to check them out. Right before recording, I actually clicked through on their website and started watching some of their videos. And the best way I can describe the Japanese band Good Morning America is kind of like 2 waves of pop punk after I stopped listening to the current pop punk. So those kind of bands that I would be thinking of are bands like Cute Is What We Aim For and Mayday Parade, like all these bands that were inspired by the bands that were inspired by the bands that I listened to, like these so many steps removed. It's kind of a younger group of dudes, very, very clean, and everyone's got, it seems like, their own persona in the band to play, and it's very, very clean. It's like, well, I guess that kind of fits the demographic.
I guess whoever Kai's shooting for now. Sure.
It's where it's like you go from Flow, which is a bunch of old dudes now, which I love, to like the new age Japanese pop punk boy band. I don't know. I've never heard of them. I don't know. This is my immediate impression from literally one YouTube video showing off. I think it was their single from January. So this is going to be the band's new single, and it sounds like debut with Kai next month. Kai's next month. Next month.
That's surreal. Like, it feels... When it was announced, what, last month?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, what is announced?
Oh, okay.
When it comes to Dragon Ball Kai.
Yeah, for real. So I don't know. I guess that's to be expected. Who knows? I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. Like, are they going to be pushing this? I really want to know what they're going to do with Toriko. I hope it gets its comeuppance, because I hate that. I hate that property. I hate it.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
I have no opinion any which way. I haven't read it, haven't watched it, so it's just a thing to me. So that was the news this last week. It's time to catch up on Vigi games. All right, Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Z, possibly the worst. Can you think of a worse title for a Dragon Ball video game in its entire history? Even the ones that I don't particularly care for had better titles than this game. Battle of Z is just not so
Taiketsu, well, I don't know. I don't want to muddle the game with the name. It's okay.
Yeah, so this was, they promoted it as such. It was entirely true. The first new Dragon Ball Z game in 2 years, developed by Artidink for Namco Bandai Namco, whatever you want to call them. Came out in North America January 28th. It's really within the span of a week that Europe, Japan, North America, and a few other territories. No, Australia got it. Some places down in South America got it. I think our branch of Namco Bandai distributed it in Brazil. So, I mean, it got out there pretty wide and far. It felt a little more so than some of the other games recently. Now, you were familiar with the developer. I know we talked about this with some demo stuff. Prior to this game, what was your familiarity with them?
So I knew them from their prior work on the Gundam and Macross titles, and I was expecting something similar for them to handle very similarly to that. Mm-hmm. And going in with that mindset, I think I was the most prepared for what this game was going to be.
It sounds like it. Yeah. I guess we kind of have to recap this big question. It's a question that needed to be asked, I think, after everyone played the demo, because we didn't... It's such a weird situation. Karen, is Battle of Z a fighting game or not?
No. It's not a fighting game.
You're not going to define it as a fighting game at all. I disagree, but I like 40% disagree. So tell me why Battle of Z is, in your opinion, not a fighting game.
A fighting game, I think, is something like Street Fighter, Marvel, Persona Arena, Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear. Those are fighting games. Those are where you have to... It has a level of execution. Well, I guess Dive Kick exists too now. But,
right.
Even Dive Kick still has, like, execution into it. It has very important timing mechanics.
Sure does.
And as far as this game goes, this is a team game where one of the new Gundam games is still a team fighting game. Like, there was just a huge tournament for it, and they were recording for the what was it? SCR, which was South California Regionals. That was a team game. But this game it's not a fighting game. Even if you want to say that Tenkaichi was a fighting game, would you call that a fighting game?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. So if Tenkaichi's a fighting game, this is even further removed from that because there's a guard button, you got a punch button, you got a shooty button, and then you have up, down, guard, change targets.
Yeah.
That's it. And what you do is there's no way to vary your melee strings. The best it gets in terms of like advanced mechanics is guard canceling.
Uh-huh.
And that isn't really that is not specific to fighting games. That's from plenty other things. I feel this is something you would play in an arcade, something you would play with a bunch of friends, get drunk and say like, hey, let's see if we can beat Hirudegarn. Hey, let's see if we can beat Frieza. Not, let's see who's the best at this Dragon Ball game.
Yeah, the current, these team battle games, which feel like extensions of where like Monster Hunter has gone, and
absolutely
kind of all of its, I don't want to say spin-offs, but kind of inspire games like God Eater, even Peace Walker was pretty similar, wasn't it?
Yeah, Peace Walker similar to it. Yeah.
It's this weird extension of games that I know from my arcade youth, like the Turtles arcade games, Final Fight, Streets of Rage, those kind of games, but just kind of brought into this modern era. Yet it's all 3D and a little more like everyone's got a specific role to play. I know we were talking about this with the demo where I had recently picked up Final Fantasy 14. I'm learning what a tank is, what a healer is. I mean, I know what a healer is, but in terms of having a specific role to play in a match, you're the dude that holds the attention. You're the one that does the actual damage. You're the one who's healing everyone in the meantime. And some of the help screens were kind of hinting along that way, like, hey, you can heal people and you can do this kind of damage with this move. And did you notice that this person's move is completely different from this person's move? And just harkening back again to our demo discussion, you were talking about the Saibai men, and they have a damage over time mechanic, which is not something we've ever had in a Dragon Ball game before.
No, people were saying that there was the heart virus in the Budokai games, and then you could use the vaccine on yourself to make the other person lose. But even then, I think that's a stretch.
That was kind of like breaking the capsule system that was presented to you rather than being an actual gameplay mechanic.
No, he is Cyberman, and Deborah as well has that move, and they're built around it. That's part of the interference type, which is just to disrupt the enemy, not to be an active presence in messing up whatever they're trying to do.
Very, very different. So maybe let's talk about what the roles are now that we've had a lot more time to play the game and really had a chance to see where all the different types of characters were. Because I remember saying at the time, we don't know what everyone's role is going to be. We had kind of an idea from the demo, but now that we have all the characters at our disposal. So the four basic classes are, you have the melee characters, you have your support characters, you have your key-based characters, and then you have your interference characters. Now, there are some that have dual roles. You'll have, for example, maybe a support / key blast character. You'll have a melee / support character. Some of the ones I think of were Gohan during the Cell game era. As you progress through his transformations, he goes from support to melee based, I think.
Yeah, he was pure support, then melee support, then full melee. He was Super Saiyan 2.
So do you feel now that you've had the chance to play the game for over a month at this point, that there's a wide enough variety? And even though we only have these four classes for characters, does one melee character feel different from another melee character?
See, I think so, but that is it's interesting because the melee characters, and you could even extend this further to plenty of other classes, they all have a pool of moves, it seems. Somebody will have let's say the Ki Blast guys, there are, I can think off the top of my head, Third Form Frieza and Final Form Cooler both have Ki Blast counters. Where you do it, you hit the input and you sit there in a stance. And then if somebody hits you with a Ki Blast, you'll absorb it and then you can let go to fire it back at them. So they're not entirely unique in that. But Metacooler does is he shoots back like a barrage of blasts. And Third Form Frieza shoots back like a grenade, like a giant energy bomb.
Gotcha.
So even though they are similar, they do have a different outcome. And I think because Metacooler has the barrage, he is already more useful than Third Form Frieza. And then there's all these other mechanics as well as how much you can put cards into them, what their stats are, as well as how many retries you get, which I think is imperative to how useful a character is. But as far as types differentiating between all the characters, I think there's plenty of variety, even between the pure melee classes. Like, all of Goku's forms do have something different between them. They all have like a Kaioken-ish type move where he gets mad and flies forward really quick.
Close. Yeah.
His second move is always different between all of them. He has like a different one for each of his forms.
Right. I'm picturing where I think he kind of goes in for that to the chest, kind of like get him real fast and just set up whatever the next combo is. I've been playing a lot. I kind of switched between Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Trunks with his sword. I kind of like Trunks. I don't know why. Maybe I feel like I have a little bit more range. I don't know if that's just in my head or if that's true.
You do. Super Saiyan Trunks is one of the few melee types who he has a very good initiate as well as a way to escape with his sword dash.
Yeah.
Because you can do it and then go back to where you were.
Right.
Or you can like move around as well. Like, that is a great way to get some damage in, and it makes him almost function as a mid-range Ki Blast guy. But as far as the, I want to say the best melee character is probably Super Trunks. Where it's like big beefy form. I think I broke the game when I discovered him.
Really? Why is that?
What I did is, using him, he is the, I think he is one of 4 or 5 to have a guard breaking move, so he can get in there and he can guard break people, and that is your only defense against like melee dudes. You only have a guard button, or you can sidestep.
Right. It's terrible. I feel like I still don't know. All right, I'm caught in a melee attack. Can I do anything? Do I just have to wait? Like, what do I do?
You can if you have your super up, you can do your super out of a guard, and that'll hit them. But as far as like getting hit from a melee string, if you have the first hit already connected, you're going to be stuck there. Like, there's not much you can do unless you have your super. But what Super Trunks can do is he can do his string, then go into his guard breaking move, so they chain together, and he also has super armor while he's doing it. You have to hit him 3 times in order to get it out. So while he's punching you, you can't do anything. And then I found a way to max out his melee. You can just max it out easily. And then I was killing bosses in 3 hits.
All right.
It was stupid.
So he is super tank in this game, apparently.
Oh, he is disgusting. He is like, I think that's all you need for a melee guy is Super Trunks.
All right, then I'm going to have to go to him. Because part of the problem that I feel like I'm having a lot is I want to play as melee characters. That's just me. I mean, I'm doing a tank in Final Fantasy 14. I want to be the dude that kind of just dumb brawn gets in there and just kind of hits people. So I'm finding, I forget who it was. Is it just first form Super Saiyan Broly that it kind of like disappears backward, and maybe it's another character that does that where they kind of get away from you and unlock your attention from them. And I feel like I have a really hard time sticking with a character and then getting in, and then they'll just throw Ki Blasts at me and I don't know what to do and I get hit down. I'm like, I can't get in there and just be this beefy dude hitting people. What do I do?
As to get into people, I think the best way to travel is to just do that sidestep, like the little, I don't really know what they call it in the game, but like you just hold guard and then move the analog stick.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you'll start like stepping forward, because you have a stupid amount of invincibility frames while you're in that. So nobody can hit you while you're moving it. Once you move to the position, you're open for a bit. So if they hit you and wait till after you do it and hit you, it's going to work. But while you're moving, you are a very hard target to hit while doing that. So like, you know, kind of zigzagging with that as a melee guy, because I was figuring this out, that there's a card, the Z sword makes it so you can't do that dash. And I'm like, oh geez, how do I get into anybody now?
Right,
it's like, it's really, really difficult.
So just kind of getting back to that main question, now that we have all these characters at our disposal, do you feel like there's a good enough variety that you have whatever you want to have at your disposal?
Do you mean like in one character, or do you think that you mean like there's a character that does what I want in the roster?
I think the latter is, I want to do this. Is there someone that can do this for me?
I think there is. There is not anybody that is a Ki Blast melee type, which I think is important to note, because it means that there's nobody who is going to be destroying you at both ranges. There's going to be somebody like, there's nobody who excels at being so good up close and far away.
Right, okay.
There is, so like you have to kind of commit yourself to one thing.
Well, here's the question. What makes, obviously being good up close makes sense. I can kind of figure out what that is. What makes someone a good distance key-based player? What do they have available to them that makes them good at that range? Is it just a larger pool of key?
What they do is they can, when they shoot their ki blasts, they can make it so that they can shoot more. Most of them can shoot more. Some people, some that are melee, can only shoot one.
Right, I noticed
Most
that
are
with
ki
Vegeta.
blast types, yeah, like they can shoot 3. Then there's cards you can put on that make you shoot even like up to 9, I think.
Right,
you can shoot up to 9 basic ones.
Yep.
Whenever you connect a basic ki blast, you gain energy by doing that.
Got it.
So you don't even have to go into people and do that. Good thing about a ki blast guy is they can kind of be like an interference person, and you just want to be as far away from people as you can be and still dishing out damage. And you want to be able to mess up somebody that is in a melee combo.
Right, okay.
So if somebody is meleeing someone on your team, you can shoot them out of it or like do some kind of blast.
See, yeah, I'm not thinking team-based enough where it's, okay, I'm in the middle of a melee attack. I can't do anything. One of my teammates can help me by hitting that person out of it. Now, here's what I think the problem is with all of this. And it's something that I think Dragon Ball can't really do anything about. That all makes perfect sense. Slowed down to an MMO time frame where you have your cooldowns and the next attack is coming and he telegraphs what it's going to be.
Yes.
DBZ is so fast that do you really have to, like, by the time you recognize what's going on, aren't you already being hit by the 8th person on the screen doing something else, and suddenly is there a strategy anymore, or is it just, all right, we're all pressing buttons?
See, that I think is the trapping of the DBZ fan mindset, not so much the game. I think that the game presents a metagame that is possible, that you can do this, because in the few experiences I've had with battle mode, I was able to be the support character, and I had people that were doing it when I was coordinating with them saying, all right, you're the ki blast guy. You just blast everyone that is attacking us. You need to keep them away from me. I need to be the one doing, playing Krillin, doing the global heal thing. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to keep healing everybody. You keep them off me. And then the melee guys are just chasing anybody they can, just punching everyone. And we were able to actually get like some semblance of strategy going and like consistently winning. But when you play it the week after release and just with random people, everyone just goes, I'm going to be Bills and I'm going to be Super Saiyan God Goku and just mash triangle, and we all lose and die. So like,
does the game, to be played to the level that it does have available to you, I guess is the way to phrase it, does it require this extra investment? It's kind of above and beyond what is almost possible to do, even though it's there for you? Like, it's such a weird question to ask.
No, I think that absolutely makes sense. It differentiates somebody who knows how to do a Hadoken with somebody who knows what the frame data is for your recovery.
Okay.
Like, it's, you know how to apply it, but it's that extra investment that some people don't seem to, like, you don't have to put it in to still beat people that know, but like, if there's that like next level of players, they will just roll over you. But this game makes it as hard as it can to present you with information. You have to figure this stuff out on your own.
Yeah,
you have to be like, okay, this character has this character has this, what can we do? You have to be with like a group of people and go, how can we use this to make a better team? How can we do this to work together? The game doesn't tell you how to do any of this anywhere.
I agree with all of that. That it has all that for you. The game doesn't tell you how to do it. And the game fights you the entire time. So one of the most recent things, all right, so 2 parts here. One, I was stuck for the longest time on the mission where it's all the fat boos and then it's the evil.
Then yes.
I just, for whatever reason, I just kept getting stuck. I just could not beat the final boo on that. I finally got through that. And then I guess what you would consider the final story mode fight against the little boo, because then you get the credits after that, even though there's plenty of stuff after that. That fight on that stage, on the Kaioshin realm, where you get inside where that mountain area is.
Where the cave is.
It's unplayable in there. And we're not talking online multiplayer unplayable, which we'll get to shortly. But I was getting stuck in the geometry of the floor, and the camera would get stuck inside the mountain and it would just be pure black. And it's so tiny and confined in there. And Boo would just kind of like fly in just the right area where suddenly no one can see anyone, even though we're locked on, and you can't connect to anything. And someone kicks someone and then suddenly no one's around each other anymore. It's an awful, awful stage.
It is. It's like when I first played it, I played through the whole the whole game with a group of friends. We all played all of it co-op.
Did you?
So
Wow.
I had an excellent experience with it. Like,
Good
we
for
all figured
you.
it out. I was like, because I was like, we need to do this to enjoy this game to the best. You got to have a group. So when we played that, then the cave showed up. I was like, oh, this looks cool.
It looks great.
And then
yeah.
I was like, oh, this is really neat. Like, I don't think there's been another one with like a little hidden alcove like this.
Right.
And then you get stuck in the little pond where the waterfall is, and you can't do anything. And then the thing with the bosses is they have a thing where, just to make them harder, so they don't get like locked in everything, just to be like a pest, they can glow red, they're invincible, and just teleport away anywhere.
Yeah. So, I know earlier on it's Ozaru, is it Gohan, where he throws the rocks at you. It's like, well, I guess I'm dodging rocks for a while.
Yeah, you just dodge rocks for a while. That's why I have a Key Blast, dude. You can still hit him when he's over there.
Yep.
But when a lot of the bosses can do that, and they'll knock you down, you get stuck in the pond, and they teleport all the way. He teleports across the mountain, and he's on the other side again. Then you got to go back around it, and that fight is god awful. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah. Again, it's just another example of the game is fighting you. It's like, come on, I dare you to enjoy me. Come on. You you really want to like me? Oh, you do? Oh, here's what I have next for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that it's kind of artificial difficulty in a sense.
Yeah.
Like just things that they do to make it a hindrance to the player rather than a challenge, like something you can overcome, because even if you like connect, like to knock him away in that little cave, he'll hit the wall and get knocked down. You're like, oh, guess we're stuck here.
Yep.
You know, it's,
Yeah, I want to talk about cards for a little bit. So now that I have, part of why I think I was stuck is what we were talking about last time with the demo is you want to grind, you want to get some cards, you want to build up your melee power, your key power. Was I getting stuck there because I just hadn't grinded enough to get my characters strong enough? As I felt like I was doing everything I should, but I just not dishing out enough damage, not being timely enough. Is that how you can get stuck, or is it just try sucking less, Mike?
Well, I won't say that, but I will ask you, were you playing with a group when you were doing it?
No, I did the entire story stuff by myself, and I have a good idea. Like, all right, I want to play this role, and I loved being able to put number 18 on my team. I feel like
18's great.
She is always the best at actually being there to heal me. Like, she actually does her job, no matter who else I choose. I feel like they're not doing what I want them to do. Number 18, she's there. She's always there, tagging me up, throwing green health at me. She's doing whatever I need. So that made a big difference once I figured out 18.
18's AI is probably the best support, other than I'd say maybe Jace. I think Jace's AI is also very good.
Okay.
The thing with when you get stuck, you need to have a way to, it's really tough for me to say because we kind of got stuck as a group on Kid Buu. And we were like, what do we do? Like, he goes to the cave, we get stuck there, everyone starts dying, we lose all our lives. We're like, well, what do we start doing? And then, I can't remember what we did, but I'm pretty sure we just went back to, I think it was the Deborah mission.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get, because the card pool stays relatively the same throughout the saga, as well as the amount of premium points that you get is consistent throughout the arc, not just a mission.
Okay.
So, like the Saiyan arc, I think it's a 10 times multiplier. In the Buu, I think it's a 35 times multiplier for how much premium points you get per filling the energy bar.
Okay.
And so what we did is we just did that, filled up the bar, got a bunch of premium points, and then everybody went and we bought like senzu beans. Everyone had senzu beans.
Gotcha.
Everyone had stuff like that. And the thing with playing with AI is they can't use items and they can't use skill cards.
Gotcha.
So you're already at a disadvantage. So if your 18 had if she had something that gave her an extra support slot or something like that, it doesn't work. If she's an AI partner,
Gotcha.
She can't have cards on her, which is really stupid. It is the dumbest thing because it's just like, you want to play it on your own? Too bad. Like,
again, the game fighting
have an
you the
advantage.
whole time.
Yeah, if you want to have an advantage, you need to have a group.
You know,
to enjoy it.
I've made it through everything I've done so far without any of those premium items. I'm kind of just doing I want to talk about this, is how much time you spend in the menus. And I know this was a big thing that was talked about on the quick look over on Giant Bomb, is just, I'm always going in, all right, I want to use these characters. All right, I have to do clear version A to get everything off of everyone. Choose my character. All right, equip version A, auto-customize, confirm, next character, auto-customize, confirm. It's just, I understand why that is, but I kind of feel like I want all the options they have are great. I love that there's a take everything, take what's left. Those are amazing options to have. Someone thought real great right there. I want one more where it's I chose my 4 characters. Just give me everything 1 through 4 sequentially. Just do it. Instead of doing it 4 times, just having it 1 time would save me so much time in the menus. And it sounds like a little thing like, oh, come on, just assign the cards. It really does take extra time.
There should just be like an optimized button for like every modern RPG has an optimized button. And like there should just be that. Like just wham, there you go.
Mentioned Bravely Default earlier where it's got, you've played an RPG? We know. We have too. Here's everything you need.
Yeah, here's everything you ever wanted. Anyways, but like I think that it would have been better even if they extended it as well. Like I think it's good that they had the erase and autofill, but even then, just 2 is not enough.
Yeah.
Like because I'd say you want at least 4, like 1 for each role.
I hear you.
But that's just me thinking, on the meta level here.
Sure.
I had to make a video on how to navigate the menus for like.
Oh, it's terrible.
I had so many people ask me, what do I do? Okay, set team, confirm. Why aren't we going? Oh, I have to set a computer partner.
Right.
Oh, I have to pick the mission. It doesn't tell you this. Like, just very quick blurb, but you kind of have to figure all of it out on your own. And then there's the card collection. Why? What are you
doing over there? Like, you look at it? Okay.
Yeah, and then there's like, you can look at the item collection. You can actually buy stuff there. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And there's the premium store. Okay, fine. But like, why is that? I don't understand why that's there. And it just seems like there's all these things just in the face trying to prevent you from enjoying what I think is a really good experience, and they don't help facilitate that.
And speaking of which, the online multiplayer, which we already just said, where it's you go into an online multiplayer match, they're doing everything they can to prevent you from actually starting a match. If you pick quick match, I should just get a match. Why am I waiting 10 minutes for the group that's already fighting to stop fighting? I did quick match. Give me people that are not already fighting. What are we doing here? I don't get it.
Yeah, you'll go quick match, they'll be in battle. You see the battles for 10 minutes, you just joined, and you're like, this is the only one that has 2 bars on the entire list.
Right. So there's that, and there's still the problem of the synchronization, the lag. I have not had a playable match yet. I went in, I did just a quick match, then I did a custom match where I was hosting the room, 2 bars or above, priority to friends. Like, I'm doing everything I think I should be doing. And these matches, when I say unplayable, I don't mean like there's a little bit of lag. I mean, it's stopping. The action, I put up a Vine earlier. It just stops.
It does. Like, the game will stop for about anywhere from 1 to 5 seconds, and then you will get a little notification that says, waiting for synchronization. And there you are, waiting for synchronization. And then once it happens...
Constantly.
All the time. And then either somebody will just quit because they get fed up with it, and then it might improve if they were the one being the problem. But then... You have like, your useless AI partner just sitting there. So now like the whole game's kind of like, oh, well, that was that.
Like, right. Why am I playing online if I'm just playing with all CPU? So the question here is this just the Japanese? Do they refuse to use GGPO? What is the problem? Why can't we have a good online game? We've had online multiplayer before and it's sort of worked. Is it because it's 8 people at once and it's so fast? Is it just shitty programming? What is going on here, you think?
It has to be shitty netcode. That is what I am positive that it is, because I went from wireless to wired for my PS3 to try and make things better. When I was playing with my friends, we had some problems starting off, like maybe at the beginning of the match, it would lag for a bit, and then it was okay. When I was with a group that were like, we all like kind of live close to each other, and we all like, we're very, that's what netcode does, is it helps eliminate that boundary between distance. So when I'm playing with somebody from France or anywhere from Europe or like all those other players that are, because you play with everybody in the like the whole global Wi-Fi, that's when it goes to a crawl. And those, I think that's the biggest problem, is a lot of those players are the ones that will be like jumping in and then dropping out. And not to just blast the entire European market or anything like that, but the netcode is just so bad that I don't think you can play cross-country with it. Like, I don't think it's possible, because I was playing with one of my friends from Europe and we were just like, this is terrible. We can't do this. Like, what are we going to do?
Is the game not doing predictive control and instead really relying on real-time stuff? Like, I don't know. I'd have to examine the packets to see what it's doing.
Exactly.
But it's just,
like,
it's
I
awful.
don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's not just Japan, because Gundam Extreme Versus is the Gundam game I've been talking about.
Yeah.
And they just came out with their basically arcade edition version of the game that I picked up. It's also a Bandai Namco title. So I'm assuming it's operating, you know, like within their infrastructure, that they know what they're doing. Like, they're knowing what they're marketing towards. And I can play ranked matches. This is a competitive fighting game where, like, all the frames and lag really matters. I play ranked on there with people from Japan and no problems. None. And I will play, sometimes there will be like red bars constantly. Sometimes it happens, but normally I can get with people that if they want to play, we'll be at like yellow or something, but it's still playable. Yellow in Battle of Z is unplayable. You have to be blue, or like, which is 3 bars, and you have to be lucky to get something going. It's just on the end of the developers, I think, because the connections are there. You mentioned you have fiber optics, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so what, like, I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Like, I can't do anything else, guys. I have the max. I am max synchro. What are you?
And it's really unfortunate, but I don't know if I want to say that this is some kind of boon to the game, because it means that you have to plan with a group and you have to work with friends. And maybe it's like, why are you playing with random people? You can't talk with them. Like, why are you playing with all these random guys? You can't coordinate. I have no idea. It's really unfortunate, because it kind of demerits everything about the game.
It really does.
Because you can't play it online. And why would you play it solo? Like, it's an online game. Like, there's really not much. Why would you play Final Fantasy 14 on your own?
Well, because I hate people. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you hate everybody. Like, I've played some MMOs on my own, but even then, like, it's an MMO for a reason. Like, interacting with people, the player economy, stuff like that is really cool.
I don't know. I disagree in some respects, especially FF14, where it has such a strong narrative from 1 through 50. It's a very traditional Final Fantasy storyline.
It does have a lot offering its content on, like, single player, but I think as far as, like, the raid, like, you can say, like, the raids go,
yes,
those are so much better coordinated than anything.
They absolutely are.
Like this.
Then I don't have 12-year-olds yelling at me, so it's a separate conversation. But this Battle of Z and the online lag problems, it's, again, the game fighting. Like, I want to enjoy you, but I can't. And I think everything they have promoted with this game is, look, you're fighting online, 8 players. How awesome is that?
8-man multiplayer, 4-on-4 battles.
But you can't. Like, you literally cannot play a proper match online. I mean, I know all the technical stuff that is preventing this from happening. The random layperson that picks this up is like, cool, new DBZ game. Haven't played in 2 years. Why doesn't it work?
I'm not surprised that there's already, like, used copies of this on the shelf, because I bet somebody was like, 8-player multiplayer, man, I love Dragon Ball. I like playing stuff online. Let's go. And oh, you can't do anything. And then I imagine, like, they got fed up because the game doesn't say anything. It has no tutorial like a lot of modern games have to tell you how things work. And even then, when it does work, it's like, it's okay. Like, it's still kind of laggy.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's really unfortunate that it turned out that way, because I feel like it had so much promise, but ultimately it kind of condemns it. There's nothing you can do. There is nothing as a consumer you can do about playing online. There's just nothing.
And I know I've tossed this out there, and I think this is kind of where I'm going to land with a final viewpoint on the game, and that's, I respect it a way, way, way huger amount than I have ever enjoyed playing this game so far. I love everything that it's trying to do. I love that it's not the typical fighting game. It's not the typical 2D. By 2D, I don't necessarily mean sprites, but 2D plane fighting game. It's not that. It's not the sparking style, free roam, lock on, one-on-one kind of game. It's something incredibly different from anything we've had before. That's what I've asked for, and it's what I got. So I'm very appreciative of that. I love all the different aspects of the game, the different classes. Like, whatever I feel like I want to contribute to this match, I can do. But none of it works for me. That's the problem. It's like, I get everything in theory. I just don't have fun when I'm doing it. Like, the gameplay is deep-ish, but the gameplay is shallow. Like, all I can do as a melee character is basically lock on and press triangle. All I can do as a support character is, if I want to fight, I can, and then I can support people. In these other games, you have these roles, but you have a wide variety of skills that you can use to contribute to the match in different ways. Like, I just don't feel like I have much I can do, and because it's DBZ, it has to be so fast, and the time to formulate a plan just kind of doesn't exist, and it's just not fun.
So I think there is definitely a very difficult barrier because of the speed of the gameplay, because of the very, very easy inputs, but still feels like there are certain things that will just debilitate you from control, being stuck in a synchro, being stuck in a meteor chain, being stuck in a melee string.
Whoops, I pressed triangle too many times. I guess I'll stay here for a couple seconds.
Yeah, so, there's many things that take you out of the action that the game tries to forward as like the frenetic combat. But in having this crazy strategy, it's very, very difficult to employ because even the MMOs that it's trying to emulate aren't as fast as this is. And you have time to say, I need to heal. You have at least like 5 seconds for something. But within like the Hirudegarn fight, for example, is brutal. That thing is very difficult if you don't know what you're doing. You will just die all the time because even though he telegraphs when he teleports, not much you can do. Like you just kind of have to know. You have to constantly keep looking at the mini map. You have to constantly be like changing targets, making sure that your friends are staying away, making sure everyone knows what they're doing. It takes so much more investment for you to enjoy the game than the game is willing to give back to you for putting that in, I think. And I think it's like the enjoyment's there because I had a blast playing with my friends, but I can honestly say that it's not for everybody, but the time that I had with it, I've had a great time. But if you can't like put all that effort in to try and get past its barriers and go into that strategy, and like, you need a group. You need to have 3 friends with you to do that. If you don't want to do it, you're probably not going to like the game. Even if you want to play a different role, even if you want to play support with 3 AI partners, that's boring as hell. Who cares? Like, who wants to do that?
And it sounds like you need 3 friends that are willing to put in that investment alongside you too.
Yes, they need to know what they're doing. They need to have a good connection that is close to you. They need to put in that effort. It's just so many barriers that this game puts up that prevent you from enjoying what could be, in hopefully a next iteration with improved netcode, better endgame content, better variety for customization, because it is something totally new. It's something that hasn't really been done, customizing these characters, aside from Attack of the Saiyans and the Legacy of Goku games, stuff like that. So I think this definitely is trying to do something different, but there's just so many mechanical things preventing you from enjoying it. And unfortunately, it's very difficult to recommend to somebody, but if you do have friends and you do all want to get together to play it, and you all have good internet together, then I think it's a lot of fun.
Maybe not $60 each. So a couple last things.
Not $60 a piece.
A couple last things I want to ask you. I know you were playing the demo on Vita. Have you played the full version on Vita as well?
Yeah, I bought the game for both. I did
too, yep.
Insane. Like, I would play on PS3, get in bed, upload my save data, play on Vita. Oh my God. Don't buy the Vita version. Just flat out. Don't buy it. The frame rate, if you thought the lag was bad, the frame rate, and as well as like, it's just the same stuff, just on a smaller screen. That's it.
I don't know.
The exact same,
I disagree. I've really enjoyed the Vita version, and I tossed this out as kind of this throwaway comment last time. I like Battle of Z as a pick up and play one mission kind of game. And I feel like I can do that a lot easier on the Vita because I can put it in sleep mode. I can just press that button. I'm exactly where I was, and I can just do that round. At the same time, early on, it was okay. And then these later fights, the frame rate, it takes a dive. I like that it's portable. I love my portable systems. If I had my way.
Absolutely, me too.
If I had my way, there would not be home consoles. Everything would be a portable system.
Exactly. That is why I have 70 hours in Bravely Default right now.
I love that. I want that. So I disagree with you on that, but I'm also not playing it, I don't want to say as seriously as you, but I'm not playing it as seriously as you.
No, I understand. Like, I think from my perspective, the frame rate makes it, why don't we just play this on PS3? But all my friends also have it on PS3, that's the option.
Right,
but
right.
I do think the game is better geared towards that pick up and play, do some rounds, there you go. Like that's why things like Monster Hunter are on a portable console.
It's exactly where they went, and if this is trying to pull that style over, okay, it kind of makes sense to play it this way.
But it's still like the netcode is even worse on the Vita.
Right.
It's like, it's just, again, like just, I think the constant technical things keep barring it from it. But I'd say like $15 on Vita to play on your own. I'd say you'd have fun with it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
If you had Plus, it was $31 on launch. That's when I picked it up. Makes sense. If I'm gonna buy it anyway, I might as well get it at this reduced price. So what else can we say to wrap things up? I've already said that I respect it more than I enjoy it. I think it's doing a lot of really cool things in some really uncool ways that's preventing me from enjoying it as much as I could. You already said you hope for another iteration. What would you want out of a sequel to Battle of Z?
I would want, of the 100 more characters, I want every single what if. What I would want is for, number one, just all they have to do, they could give me Battle of Z2, same game, better netcode. I would probably pay $40.
Right.
Okay. Like, that's all I want. Top of the list, better netcode. Second, better end game PvE content. PvE as in player versus enemy, you guys co-op stuff.
I'm sorry, we're not talking about MMOs. You're talking about a Dragon Ball game. What are you talking about end game content? Come on.
Okay, listen to me. When you beat Kid Buu, you get all the, like, the other alternate universe, all of the other stuff
right.
like
Here's
this.
all
Then
the science.
Here's
all the super science. Right.
Here's, all that stuff. That's really lame. I don't care. Like, there's nothing there. But, like, they were trying to. Like, they were really saying, you want to put your skills to the test? Try and fight all the characters and Vegeta at the end. Like, I don't care. Like, give me something neat. Like, the Hirudegarn fight was so cool. Like, but you had to be, like, near the end game. It was mission 50.
Yep.
Like, you had to be closer to the end to do stuff like that. Even though you can say he's canonically not as strong as the other people at that point.
So
whatever.
So what would that be? You can say this, but then you got to give some ideas. What could there be to do?
GT. Bam.
Well, then isn't that just a continuation of the story? I mean...
Yeah, no, it is. I would just like more interesting missions that were harder and at the end, or a New Game Plus option where you could go through again, but there were different things happening. Or like, I liked playing the villain side of the stories, like fighting them. I thought that was cool, but that's very easy. That's super easy to do. When they said that they're like, we're doing some what if stuff for this, I got really excited. Like, there's these team battles. You can do all this really cool stuff. Here's a whole narrative of the Saiyans fighting Frieza's army. No, not really. You get one mission where you fight like Frieza and his family.
And the what ifs, they're maybe a 10-second scene of someone up on a cliff and then you're just fighting. I mean, it's not like a series of cutscenes. And I don't need cutscenes, but you think back to the stuff that was extra that we've enjoyed so much over the years. And I think back to the first Budokai, and I think to Ultimate Butoden on the DS. The extra missions and the what if scenes, they had, they were fights, but they did have cutscenes before and after, and they really made a big difference. Just, it can be really basic stuff, but when you feel that extra touch of love that's put into them, I think it makes a big difference. And in here, the extra touch of love is someone says an extra line over top of the fight that you're having.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that people during the fight, they actually change cinematics depending on which characters you play.
Yep, they do.
I thought that was interesting. Like, for how many corners they cut to get, like, it seems to get to the missions and stuff like that. I feel like it feels like they put a lot of thought into, like, what they were going to do with the presentation of the missions, but it feels really bland. You got Krillin blowing up, and, like, if you play it correctly on Frieza's side and you play as Final Form Frieza and kill Krillin, you see him doing that. You're rewarded for doing these things, but it's like, it's just So you can tell that they have this in mind, but I think if they were doing a sequel, I would like skippable cutscenes, but I think it would be cool if they had a bit more heart to them. But it's kind of hard to do that because you're playing as your own customized character, I guess, version of the character. And there's like such a breadth of whoever you could be in that scene at one point that it makes it a little more difficult to kind of structure a narrative that way. But it would be cool to be like fighting alongside the Saiyans. Like maybe you like see them in the background or something. I don't know, like something like that. Along like fighting Frieza.
You're asking for basically beat in Dragon Ball Heroes and the Dragon Ball Online age missions where you go back in time and you fight these major battles and you see it from a different perspective. Basically, it seems like that's what we want.
I did play Dragon Ball Online.
No, that's right.
I played it when I was like, I played through up to right about where I was about to like turn to an adult. Didn't get through where I actually went back in time and did that, but my friend did, and he was telling me all about it. I'm like, that sounds amazing. That sounds really cool. And I guess that's kind of what I'd want from this. And it just seems like, okay, you beat the story, here's the villain story, and then here's just groups of villains. Like, I'd like more interesting scenarios. I'd like something harder, because once you get to a certain threshold, there's no threat from co-op. Like, you're not going to lose. And that's, I guess, what I'm asking for, is something that is still challenging. Like, even in Monster Hunter, if you have max gear, there's those monsters that will just destroy you if you do something wrong. Like, they'll just kill you. Mm-hmm. And in games like Soul Sacrifice and stuff, there are even people at, like, max level, you have to still have a group and coordinate and be like, you do this, you do this, you do this, or else we're all going to lose. That's what I want.
So it sounds like they're kind of on the right path with these giant bosses, but they're just not executed the right way. And
yeah, like the giant bosses are so cool.
You can still be too overpowered to beat them easy once you know the pattern. But isn't that what we're saying? Like, if you know the pattern, you can take them down. I don't know. It seems like maybe they're on the right path, but we need some more of that.
Yeah, I think they're on the right track. But they just need to refine it. UI wise, gameplay wise. Like, I don't know. I really don't know what else they could add for. Maybe add some directional inputs to triangle for melee. Like, how have you played the Ninja Storm games?
I have not.
They all have circle as your, the Naruto games, they all have circle, let you do all your melee stuff.
Sure.
But if you hit like circle, left circle, 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 it's a different thing from just plain circle.
Gotcha.
All the way.
Gotcha.
So you can at least vary them up. And there are combos that like work in that game. And I was kind of feeling a big Ninja Storm vibe from this, because it's a very like bland game gameplay wise, but it's focused on movement and like positioning and like when you get in and actually get a combo going. Maybe they could do something like that to it. But even then, I think it's kind of lacking. Like, once you get all the cards, like, there's nothing to do. Like, at Monster Hunter, even when you get all this stuff, you can still be like, hey, let's see if we can beat this really hard boss. Or, like, in an MMO, like, there will still be something you can do with your friends. Even after you have, like, really good gear, I guess. I guess that's what I'm trying to ask for.
We cannot be satisfied. We want more.
Never. Just never satisfied. Dragon Ball always breaks my heart, but I buy every single game. I buy consoles for Dragon Ball games. My heart breaks a little every time. Ultimate Tenkaichi, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that game.
Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Z, out right now. It's been out for a month. Came out late January for the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and the Vita. MSRP is $60. Amazon and Best Buy just had it for $50 on the consoles. This is going to drop pretty fast, I think.
It's going to drop way fast. By the end of the year, I'm predicting it'll be $40 everywhere.
The end of the year? Like, all the way? It's going to be $40 by April, man.
Okay.
It's already way cheap on Amazon Japan. I got to look up right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Man. Let's go. All right, Amazon co.jp. Come on, we're going. Battle of Z. I can type it in English because it came out that way. So it launched for 7,480 yen. Amazon Japan is selling it for 4,900 yen.
Ooh. That was the big banking thing for my theory. I was like, if Japan responds well to this, then, because those, like, they eat up all the Monster Hunter games and stuff like that. They love that coordination, but nope, I guess they didn't see it either.
All right. So to kind of wrap up our thoughts on Battle of Z will be your thoughts on Battle of Z. I'm pulling over to Twitter here, asked, what are your thoughts on the game? So I just want to kind of run through these and hearing your kind of knee-jerk reactions to some responses here. Mark says, I like it. Fun gameplay, much better than Ultimate Tenkaichi and Connect, and they use new recordings and animation. Finally.
They did have new recordings, and there were like little voice-acted segments that were all new for them instead of just the rehash where you had the different dub voices for Frieza in the fight.
Awesome. Sean says, online is broken. Yep. See, AJ says, an interesting concept with terrible marketing that's caused overly harsh reviews for a flawed yet serviceable title.
Serviceable if you're willing to put in the effort.
There you go. See, TJ says 140 characters isn't enough to explain why, but it's a complete waste of $60. Still waiting on a burst limit sequel.
Burst limit was okay, so I guess you got a little argument there.
Right.
$60 though. No.
I don't think so.
No.
Mai says, liked the game so much, I only wish there was a multiplayer option, PS3 and Vita crossplay, and the DLC. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. There is no cross-play. There's cross-save, but no cross-play.
Yeah, I think the cross-play, who knows, with their net play might have been even worse if they did cross-play with your Vita. I don't know. DLC thing, too. Do you want to talk about that?
We can. I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's just same. Capcom's been doing this for a while. The characters are on the disc. You download a 100 kilobyte thing that says you pre-ordered, you got this.
They're not just on the disc. You fight them in the story mode.
They're right there. Like, obviously, they're also in the Vita version that you so why can't you do anything with them? Like, me and my friend, he pre-ordered Best Buy, I pre-ordered GameStop, and we game shared the codes, so we both had both of the characters for the PS3 version, but couldn't do it with the Vita.
That's awful. And Japan's got them for purchase. Like, I guess that's sort of
better. I figured they were going to do that. Like, I guess I can understand that they want to milk it, but
I don't know. I feel like Dragon Ball's not the right one to do it with. People don't care that much. They're disappointed and they're like, okay, I guess we don't get, like, if you're not even then going to sell them to us, then what are you doing?
Yeah, like their Gundam game, they're selling 300 yen to get, have an anime character at the bottom left corner narrating while you're fighting.
Right. All right. James says, confused. Trying to satisfy a market desperate for originality, but a core fan base wanting the same. Yeah, I mean, you've got all the Budokai fans that want Dimps to come back. You've got all the Sparking fans that just want Raging Blast 3. You've got other people that, like me, want something new. And it's like, okay, I asked for something new. I got something new. I don't know if this is it.
No, it's new. It's on the right track for something new. So I don't know. I'm very hesitantly optimistic for the future of home console Dragon Ball games.
Yeah, we got a couple last ones here. The Science 17. It's a disappointment in my opinion. All I want is a good fighting game, skill versus skill, like Budokai and no button mashing. Is Battle of Z a skill-based game? Could it be?
If you had a team of 4 against another team of 4, like say like League of Legends or something, where it could be.
Yeah,
it absolutely could be. If you even wanted to make it more about skill, you could turn off cards, but I think that's less fun. You want to use the character you have, and there's like really cool ways to build around it to make it kind of more towards how you play. If it was 4 versus 4, you're both teams that know what they're doing, haven't put the same amount of investment in, it could be skill versus skill, but then again, I don't think this game warrants you putting in that time, unfortunately.
All right, we've got Ash Ketchum. It was fun, but I couldn't fly well. Did play the demo, by the way. I hated flying, so I mostly ran everywhere I could. I might buy it later. So it's based off of demo impressions. The flying is weird, man. Especially in that last boo stage. Why can't I fly higher? Why can't I? There's more sky above me. Why aren't I flying up? Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with the flying.
Flying mechanics are kind of weird. I think they're better than the Sparking games, though.
Yeah.
I feel like plays a lot better than those, but yeah, it's still kind of weird.
Been a while. I gotta go back and play some Meteor. Last one we'll do here, Frankie. Based on what I've seen, seems like a concept that could go somewhere kind of slow. I don't know what the kind of slow. Maybe the concept getting there kind of slow. The game's certainly not slow. I don't know. And then nice to get the Beerus romanization out of it. Yes. If that's what Battle of Z gives us,
yeah,
I'll take it. Thank you.
You could have there's your power levels. You can validate your power levels, but you also got your Beerus. So there you go.
That wraps up our thoughts on Battle of Z. That wraps up your thoughts on Battle of Z. Been going for a while now, but to wrap things up, we do have to ask that most important question every episode.
Who's that character?
Last time on the show, someone guessed it immediately. We weren't entirely sure if they would, but I think we need to stop picking newish sounding things. This is the clip we played.
そうはいかない。宇宙船が壊れてどこにも行けないのだ。
That was indeed Tsubasa Yonaga playing Jaco himself, Jaco the Galactic Patrolman from the Jaco Vomit. Again, the sound quality is giving things away. So I think I'm going to have to dig back into the old muffled stuff to pull up some better characters. So what we'll do right now, Kieran, you're going to tell me right this second who you would like me to use as the next Who's That Character. And of course, we'll edit that out of the recording. And we're going to play that sound clip right now. And then one more time, that clip.
投げられるものなら投げてみろ.
So for Who's That Character, all you got to do, no real prizes, no real esteem that you get along with it other than your own personal pride. If you want to take a guess either on our forum, Twitter, Facebook, Google, wherever you want to leave a response, who do you think that is? Where do you think it's from? And you can just be proud of yourself. So Kieran, this has been episode 357 of our podcast here at Kanzenshuu. Battle of Z. We're done with it. Thanks.
Done.
Kicked out to the curb. Well, all right. So this is kind of wrapping up the topic that we've already wrapped up. I noticed you're talking about it fell off the fucking cliff on Twitter. What happened? Have you played it recently? Or is it just like, oh, Gundam came in, peace?
Oh, well, okay. Well, yeah, one, Gundam came in, and then I was just like, well, here's a competitive game that merits me putting in all this effort.
Okay.
But as far as Battle of Z goes, I was going through, I was going to make a tier list of all the characters. Still thinking about doing it. Probably going to do a video review shortly. Something like that. I wanted to go through, but as I started putting more time in, I realized I just wasn't getting the investment back, and just really sucked because the hope was there. The hope was there because the demo was teasing me, and I'm like, I can't wait to see how many missions there are, what all the characters are going to be like. And they admittedly are still pretty varied, but no, Gundam happened. I bought a Dreamcast. So I've been playing.
Dreamcast. Wait, is it 2014? What's going on?
Yeah, no, bought a Dreamcast, Bravely Default. I got Techromancer in yesterday, which is, oh my god.
All right, Bravely Default. Bravely Default is great. Tell me how great Bravely Default is.
Let's just talk about how good. Can we just do that? Can we just have a Bravely Default cast?
Like everything that you want, again, we were saying this, everything that you wanted in an RPG, it has it. You want auto customize? Great. You want to turn off random battles so you can run back to town? Great. You want crystals? Great. You want job system? Great.
You want, like, I guess it's kind of a spoiler to talk about it, but you want, like, all these things from Square Games. There you go. Like, they know the market. They knew it well. You want something different from turn-based? Brave Default. There you go. Defending. Who defends? There you go. You get reward for it.
And I finally hit the point of the game where you can't just brave, attack. Oh, this is the point of the game a little bit into chapter 2. I've been playing so many games right now, so I'm not as far as I would like to be in the game. Have you been paying attention? You need to actually pay attention now. And I love it. Love it.
It's so good. I got to the point where I grind so much though in games like this. It's bad. I'm the type of person that when I go into something, I go hard. So like when it comes to Battle of Z, put all my time into that. Then Gundam, then Bravely Default. I already have 70 hours in it. I'm on chapter 6. And okay, so by chapter 3, I was level 70.
Oh, Jesus.
And I had everything on max difficulty. I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's bring it.
Well, that's your own fault. You broke the game for yourself.
No, I did break the game, but I still love it. I love everything about it. I wouldn't say I broke it.
Oh, and it's doing so many other great things, like the S potion or whatever it is, the thing that builds up. You can buy it if you want. You don't have to buy it. You can just get it for free, and you don't even have to use it if you don't want.
Yeah, I didn't even use it until later because do you know the certain thing that you get for using it? I don't want to kind of spoil it.
No.
It's not a big spoiler.
So don't talk about it.
Okay,
I'll find things out.
Right. Yeah, but there's a very good reason to use that.
All right.
And it's really awesome. It is the best JRPG I've played in years.
Totally is. So this wraps up our Bravely Default section of the podcast. Bring the episode to a close. Kieran, Lord Moonstone, do you want to plug anything before we wrap it up for goods?
I have a Twitter, got a YouTube. That's where I do things. Lord Moonstone, hit it up. I will play anything with anybody if I have it on PS3 or Vita. Feel free to add me. I'm also Lord Moonstone on PSN.
Keep it easy. I like it. So thank you much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Always a blast.
So that's Kieran. My name's Mike, VegettoEX, www.kanzenshuu.com. Kai is coming our way shortly, so we'll have all sorts of news. No one's gonna sleep. It's gonna be terrible. I don't look forward to anything, except I look forward to it.
Get pumped to updating all the time.
We're already in that cycle where I have about 6 news drafts every time Julene wakes up. It's just gonna get worse. Just gonna get worse. So look forward to all the best, all the accurate news that you expect from us at Kanzenshuu still coming your way. That's all I got. The website, Twitter, Facebook, Google, anywhere you want to hang out. Kanzenshuu, it's a place to do it. So you get last word. Wrap it up, man.
Thanks for listening to Kanzenshuu, the podcast. 次回もお楽しみに